Hey everybody, going to be a little bit different today. Today I'm going to just narrate this one because it's a little different. Obviously it's not really in showroom quality. This is my 1/8 scale Monogram Firebird Trans Am. And it is in a little bit of trouble. As you can see, I have to do some restoration on this. Not much though. I did the math on this and I actually built this 22 years ago, so it is still in the same shape. Didn't do anything since then, so there will be some problems in that many years. But I just want to, I like to leave them in this kind of condition of how I built them, just to remember what stage I was at that time. I was 18 years old when I built this, and going to just show some different things that I did wrong. Let's get a little closer here. First thing, the wheels. I went through the extra trouble of actually painting. I got this one that's off here. I actually painted in between. I think I painted the whole wheel gold, and then I touched up each spoke on the snowflake, and actually painted the tops of those lug nuts. But as you can see, what happened here is after I painted the silver on, and that is silver, believe it or not, I put a gloss coat on it over the whole thing, and that made the silver dull. Before I even sprayed that silver on, I think it was aluminum paint, it was looking very much like the correct wheel, and then it ruined it. But I didn't want to strip it because that decal right there in the center, didn't know what was going to happen to that in the strip tank. So that happened 22 years ago, left it exactly like it was. Any tips on how to strip this? Because is something going to happen to that decal? I don't know. Also, silver doesn't strip off very good unless somebody has a different way to strip silver without it kind of caking up like some of you might know. Otherwise, I had issues with some things not gluing on very well. I think this was before I realized you had to scrape the paint, and so clearly the front wheel and the control arm there, spindle, needs to be put back on, but I need access to the top control arm way down in there, and so the motor's got to come out. But it's stuck on there. This thing is keeping it from coming out through the bottom, keeping the body from coming off, and I'm a little scared to pry on it. But I'll figure it out. I'll get that shaker off of there. Might do it right in front of you here. Might break it right in front of you here. Nope, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that some other time. But obviously those have to come on for me to do the repair correctly, to hold this wheel on correctly. Other than that, you look inside. Even way back then, I took the extra time to actually paint this rubber. This is not a separate piece. It's molded in. And I used liquid mask and an X-Acto knife and painted that on there. And that rubber piece there is not a separate piece either. Not bad for how old it is. Paint's still in pretty good shape. It's covered in dust. You can see that. Hood decal, hood chicken is in pretty good shape. Not bad at all. 22 years ago that was done. Right here I got a pretty major gap. I would have never left that today. I don't know how I would have repaired that, but I would have done that. The rear window did not fit on the car. It did not conform correctly, so I ended up putting a bunch of glue on it, but had the body upside down, put the glass in place, and I actually put a brick on it to hold it in all the way around, and left it to dry for about, gosh, 2 days. Took the brick off and it stuck, and that's the way it stayed. Okay, coming over here, big mistakes I made back then. Really don't want the chrome-plated master cylinder and booster. That's got to come off, get stripped, get painted steel color. Same thing with the alternator. Just not for this one. I don't want it that dressy. The valve covers, I don't know. I'd probably leave those like they are. Other than that, decals look good on the battery still. This decal here showing some catalyst information. Still looks pretty good. Water bottle. Here's a break that happened on this line, and this thing is just hanging off into space here. No brackets, didn't come with any brackets, and that's basically how it broke. I made this high-tech repair many years ago, and it looks terrible, and I probably want to fix that a little better. Nice decal on the compressor there. Otherwise, in the, decal's still looking pretty good. That's dust you see there. It's actually still shining. Once I clean this up a little bit, it'll be pretty good. Painted the rubber around the shaker. Not too bad, huh? All the belts painted individually. You'll see better when I turn it over. Front looking good. Looks kind of real, actually. And on the inside, I left the seats exactly how they were because these are supposed to be vinyl seats. Polystyrene kind of looks like vinyl. So, yeah, just glued them in. Here is where I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get in here. Zoom on this. Right there. See those letters in between here? This is one piece. I actually filled... I put that black paint in there. That is small right there. I actually painted with a pen. Put a pen, not a pen like an ink pen, but a pen like a needle. And I dipped that in the paint and painted with a needle. Right there, I have that shift knob. Shift knob is right there. And otherwise, in here on the dash, I painted around each of the instruments. It's not going to get in there. Maybe it will. There we go. Yeah, that's all one piece. Those are decals in there, and the bezels are painted just freehand, no masking, no nothing. Kind of the way it had to be. That's that. And now let's see if I can flip it over. I've got the body unscrewed. It's probably going to fall apart here. Underneath are where I made some pretty major mistakes just due to my age when I built it. Obviously, underside of cars aren't usually shiny. This one is shiny. I would do it in flat black or matte black today. Drive shaft is missing. I have it inside. I also have the T-top glass. Everything else looking pretty good. I probably would have painted the gas tank a different color. Would have researched that and find out what it's supposed to be. Transmission pan looks terrible. I think the motor's the right color. Here's what those belts. Had to paint in between there. These are not rubber belts. That's just a big molded thing. Or maybe they are rubber belts. I don't know. It's been a long time. That's a long time ago. And his silly things, I painted the little bolts that are supposedly holding this on. But there's the problem right there. That's why that spindle's not staying in. And it glues from the top, which means I need to get access to it. And I will fix it up. But yeah, I didn't want to do a big feature on this one because it's not in the best shape. You can see it's kind of big. That's the dryer. Yeah. This was for you, Bernie, right here. This is a 220 line for the dryer. You get a kick out of this. Didn't have a 220 line. Follow the wire to the breaker box right here, and hey, it just goes in the wall. And surprise, got power. Please don't call code enforcement. But that is basically it. 1/8 scale Monogram Trans Am. any tips you guys got on any part of this, I'm looking to restore it and film it better. Let me know your input.